Record. Okay, so this is the course content. Okay, so every day, okay, while starting the session, every day I'm opening this Excel sheet. So what are the sections we are complete, just mark as a complete. Okay, so you can see, so this one we completed. Okay, so this one also we completed. So
Uh,
yeah, go ahead.
Venkat, if I'm joining from today, so
Yeah,
if you can cover those things again
yeah, sure, Santosh. Yeah, sure.
from installation types on the
Yeah, yeah.
topic one.
Okay, okay. Just we'll recap. Yeah, 10 to 15 minutes. Sure.
Yeah,
Your may I know your background, Santosh? Like Oracle
I'm,
DBA.
I'm DB to DBA.
DB to DBA?
Yes,
Okay. Okay, no problem. Okay, thanks. Just keep it keep mute yourself.
okay.
You have okay. I will ask it. If you have any queries, that time you can ask if you have any. Thank you. So okay. Okay. So just will okay, recap the yesterday session. So can see. Okay. So Postgres is the one of the RDBMS product. Okay, so I like Oracle, MySQL. So, but the main advantage is Postgres. So it's available free of cost. It's available in open source platform. So it's available in open source platform as well as so licensed enterprise version. Enterprise version. So if anyone not interested to take the license, yes, they can go and use open source platform. So people called as a community version PostgreSQL. Both are same. Community version of PostgreSQL. So this is available free of cost. There is no license required to utilize community version of PostgreSQL. Okay. So when you take this enterprise version of PostgreSQL, if you take any database in term enterprise, means it's a commercial database. It's a commercial database. Commercial DB means someone was developed. Initially, they took the community version only. So whatever vendors, suppose who provide this vendor for this enterprise DB, there is a EDB company. The headquarters from Pune, EDB, there is a enterprise DB company. Initially, they took community version of PostgreSQL existing code. On top of that, they made some enhances. They add some features. The given name is Enterprise PostgreSQL Database. They started their product some license cost. So this available license cost. So we have to pay license. If you want to utilize Enterprise PostgreSQL Database, we have to take the license. If you want to utilize community version PostgreSQL or open source platform, there is no license. It's available free of cost. So what is the website here? Postgresql.org. Here, so here, this is the website www.postgresql.org. So here, what is the website? www.enterprisedb.com. So if you want to download PostgreSQL for open source, you have to visit this website. You have to download if you want to download Enterprise DB, means it's a licensed product like Oracle database, you have to visit this website. Okay. So what is the advantage if you take the licensed DB enterprise database? So while using this enterprise DB, enterprise PostgreSQL database, if you face any issue, immediately you can raise a ticket with EDB company. Based on the priority, they will assist you. They will support us. So here, vendor support is there. Vendor support is there. Here, if you are using a community version of PostgreSQL, there is no vendor support since we are not paying anything. Just we are utilized free of cost. So no vendor support. That is the main difference between community version of PostgreSQL, enterprise PostgreSQL database. So only EDB company available to provide enterprise PostgreSQL database. So whatever the critical applications, they can go and use Enterprise DB. Whatever the non-critical applications, they can go and use community version of PostgreSQL database. Okay. So, so how to install? Yeah, go ahead.
Venkat. So only we have EDB as a
Yes,
vendor.
correct, correct, correct.
There are no other vendors.
No other vendors.
Okay.
So
Thank
there is a okay, till 2020, okay, till September before, okay. So before September 2020, there are two vendors available, EDB and Second Coordinate. These two vendors provide enterprise PostgreSQL database till before September 2020. In the same September 2020, EDB acquired this Second Coordinate company. So now both are same, it's a EDB only. Now there is no competitors for EDB. If anyone wanted to utilize enterprise DB, they should take the license from EDB only. Clear, Rasekar?
Clear, Venkat. Thank you.
Yeah, okay, thanks. So that's about okay. It's a PostgreSQL background. Okay, this is not a product. Okay, this is not a new product. This is available since 1986 onwards. But recently, last 4 to 5 years onwards, they made many enhances. They add many features. Whatever the features available, other platform, same thing added in this. So that's why all clients they are looking for PostgreSQL database platform. Almost half of the database projects migrated to Postgres, either enterprise or open source. Okay, so this is about a Postgres background. Okay, so let's see what are the installation types. So these are the 4 methods available to install Postgres. Only 4 methods. Okay, so if you take, okay, so in Windows, there is only one method available, that is GUI, graphical user interface installation method, which is applicable only Windows platform only. In case of Linux, you take any Linux platform. We are not bothered about. That could be any Linux. We have to choose any one of the method out of these 3. If you want to go with the source code, yes, I can go and install. If you want to M method, yes, I can go and install. If you want to RPM, yes, I can go and install. So when we can choose what is the purpose of each and every installation, we'll see. Yesterday, we seen source code method. So what is the source code method? So how to build the database server via source code method, we seen yesterday. But so when we can this source code method, when we have to choose this M method, we'll see, we'll discuss detail. So when you install Postgres, so okay, so how many locations we required? If in case of Oracle, we required a home location, we required to keep the data files, we required one data files location, we required inventory. What is the default user in Oracle? Sys user. What is the default port number Oracle? 1521. The same way, each and every database, we require some locations to install the database software. It has to keep some default port number. It has to keep one default user. So when you come to Postgres, so same way, here also we required one home location. So if it is source code, this is the default home location, PG_SQL, where the Postgres software will be installed inside this location. So we can call Postgres home location. So to keep all the data files, configuration files, we required one location. That location we called as a data directory. So yesterday we used /user1 data. This directory we called as a data directory. So what is the purpose of this data directory? To store data files plus configuration files. Here all the software will be installed. So to install Postgres, only 2 locations we have to remember. We require these 2 locations. One is for software, other one is to keep data files under configuration files. Okay. So if you install Postgres any platform, what is the default user? What is the default user Postgres? The default username Postgres, the username is Postgres. This we call as a super user. This is a super user. Means with this user we can do anything. It's equivalent to sys user in Oracle. Each and every database there is a super user is there. MySQL, MS SQL. Yes, the given one super user, with that user only we can do what are the administration tasks we can perform with this user only. So here the super user is Postgres. So what is the default port number? 5432. So when you install Postgres, here the software will be installed. Here data files and the configuration files will be created. This is the default user will be created automatically. This is the default port number 5432. Any doubts as of now? Just a small recap what we done till as of now. So yesterday we completed source code. This is GUI method we completed. So we have to complete these two. So for these, okay, I will share the recordings. Previous 3 classes, only 3 classes we completed. First day only demo. Second day we completed this method. Yesterday third class we completed source code. Okay, I will share the recordings on those. You can go through the recordings. If you have any queries, okay, so ping me WhatsApp. That's fine. Anyone? Any queries?
Yeah, Venkat.
Yeah, the Postgres is the operating system user, right, Venkat?
Yeah, OS level, okay. Database level, it's a default user will be created. Database level Postgres user. Like in Oracle sys user. Same way, in Postgres database level, there is a default user created. OS level also we need to add same username. If you want to different, you can use. Okay, database OS level also we have to use same user so that no one confused.
Okay. So
Okay.
if you are creating the same question, Venkat, yesterday we
Yeah,
discussed
yeah.
it.
Yes.
So if you are creating a
Hmm.
operating system user to create the cluster,
Hmm.
the user name which is different from Postgres, how to give the permissions? What are the permissions to be given? Actually, we are installing the software as a root user, right? So simply by creating a normal user account at the OS
DB
level,
level, what user you want to maintain? Default is Postgres. DB level, what user you want to maintain? Let's discuss end of the section. Okay, I remember. I will clarify. Don't worry.
okay. No, and it's not a DB user actually. We discussed
Yeah,
about
I
the
mean
operating.
there is a
Yeah.
OS level, DB level. So DB level is the
Yes.
you want to keep same Postgres user, correct?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
OS level you
So
want to different, correct?
different user, yeah.
Okay. So okay, let me discuss. Okay, end of the section R. We'll take the separate section for this. Don't worry. I remember.
Sure.
Okay. Yeah. So because okay, initially we can go with the default location for all the four methods. Then one by one we'll see custom locations. What we can do for in case of custom locations. That's where we can okay. Our course is going. We'll see the first all the default locations. Then we'll see how to customize our installation location. Suppose I want to change my data directory. How to do that? I want to change my installation location source code. I don't want to keep default location. I want to install my own location. We'll see all the custom locations in one class. Clear? So that you can understand. Yeah. Can we change this? Yes, we can change. Okay. That will cover in the next class. Yes, we can change. Okay. Okay. So let's see. Okay. So where we are in. Okay. So this is about okay. So these two locations required. This is the default port number, default user. So for Linux platform, these are the prerequisites required. For Windows, it's not required. Directly you can go and download the software you can install. But in case of Linux, we required these prerequisites. What are the prerequisites? These are the mandatory prerequisites. Mandatory prerequisites. These are the optional prerequisites. What are the mandatory Initially, Postgres, the developer based on C language. So when you download the Postgres, it's all from C language code. So you have to convert from all the existing code from C language to SQL language. If you want to execute any C language statement, we need compiler. Yes or no? If you want to execute any C language statement, we need compiler. So when you download the Postgres software, it's there in the source code. The code is existing in C format. So you have to convert C language to SQL language. Who convert? Compiler. That compiler name is GCC. So here the GCC is mandatory, which can convert from C language to SQL language. Okay. So how to verify the GCC existing or not? RPM-QA GCC. So the compiler version should be 3.80 or above. Yesterday we seen all the things. The compiler version also mandatory. It should not lower than this value. It's above, it's fine. 3.80 or above. So these two are the mandatory, because without compiler means without converting, we cannot install Postgres. It's going to fail. So what are the optional prerequisites? So there is a read line RPM, JetLib RPM. So if you have JetLib RPM, these two are optional. Without these two, I can go and install. So what is the JetLib? You can take the database backup in compress mode. Yes, if it is installed, I can take the backup in compress mode. If you don't have, I cannot take. Yes, it's fine. For installation, I don't bother about. I can go and install without these two. Next, the read line. So it gives the, when you click on page up in the database prompt, it gives the historical statements. What was the statements you executed previously? All the statements it gives one by one. When you click on page up, what is the last executed statement it gives? If you want to execute the same, you can execute it. Like this, that functionality support when you install a read line. These are the mandatory optional prerequisites. Just to go through previous videos. If you have any queries, you can ping me in WhatsApp. So let's see today M method. So when we can choose this source code method, there is a doubt. In the Linux server, if you don't have some servers, due to security reason, they are not allowing internet connection. They are not allowing internet connection. So in that scenario, we have to download the software internally. We have to upload the software into Linux server via PuTTY, WinSP. Then you can start the installation. In that scenario only, we have to go and use source code method. So suppose in the Linux machine, we have an internet connection. We have a internet connection. Then better to choose M method only. Better to choose M method. In real time also, all are using M method. Majority servers, it's having internet connection. If you don't have internet connection, then you can go with source code, either RPM method. So in this case, we are not going to download the software. We are not going to create the user, default user, OS level user. We are not going to create an OS level user. It's automatically creating the OS level user. It's automatically create the data directory, default data directory. Nothing, just you can get the instructions from postgresql.org website. You can copy and paste one by one, step 1, step 2 like this. That is M method. It's automatically everything it's created. Nothing will be, there is no manual interaction here. Here you have to download the software, you have to enter the software, you have to create OS level user, you have to create a data directory, you have to change the ownership, you have to create the cluster. Like this, there are many steps are there in case of source code method. But in case of M method, since the server having internet connection, just you can get the software instruction steps from website. You can step by step, you can copy and paste. It will internally connected to postgresql.org. It's download the software automatically. Once download the software, it install. Once install, we have to create a cluster. No need to create a user. No need to create a data directory. No need to give the permissions. This all everything it will be done system itself. So how to download the software for M method? How to where we can get the instructions? So you can say let me go to website postgresql.org. You can see yesterday we selected source code method. So left side we have to select source. Today M method we are going to install via M method. For M method or RPM method, we have to select packages. We have to select packages. For either M method or RPM method, we have to select packages. For only source code method, we have to click on source. Click on packages, choose the operating system, Red Hat. You can see. So Linux downloads, PostgreSQL M repository. So select a version. Which version you want to install? Postgres 13. Yesterday we installed 12. Let's say 13 version. So what is your platform? From 13 onwards, we required operating system Linux version. Minimum version 7 is required. So you have to select the Linux version 7, major version. We cannot install Postgres 13 inside the 6. Even from 12 onwards. Okay, 12 M method. If you go with the 12 version M method, there it's required a Linux 7 version. Okay, so let's see. Here we have to select the which version you want to go and install Postgres version. The latest is 16. So you have to select which version you want to go. So let's go 13. Next select a platform means OS version. So 6 is not support for 13. So the minimum version is 7. Let me select 7. So the architecture is default 64-bit. So these are the instructions. Copy and paste and run the relevant parts of the setup script. So these are the instructions. You can copy, paste and run the relevant parts of the script steps one by one. What is the steps? You can see first step, install the repository RPM file. We are going to download the RPM and install. Just you can copy and paste this one. It's internally connected to this website only. You can see https download.postgresql.org. There is a publication repository. Under repository there is a M folder. Under M repository RPMs. EL7 means Linux Enterprise Linux 7 platform. We selected Linux 7. So this is the RPM file pzdz red hat repo latest.org. So this file is going to download internally connected to website. It's going to download and install RPM file. Next, install the PostgreSQL. Sudo yum install -y PostgreSQL 13 server. Going to install server 13 server. Next, optionally initialize the database and enable the automatic start. You can create the cluster. How to create the cluster? initdb utility. Yes or no? In the source code method also, to create a cluster, we have to use initdb utility. To start the services, pgctl. That is for manual start. So what is the difference between main M method and source code method? So these are the things automatically done in case of M method. No need to create a user. No need to create a data directory. It's go and use default data directory. So install the software, then create a cluster. initdb is the utility. Is going to create a cluster. We are not specifying data directory -d like this, like source code method. System is default using default data directory. If you want to use your own data directory, we'll see in the next class. First, let's go default setup. Next, enable services. Next, start the services. There is a daemon process. The daemon process, if we enable this service, we are using systemctl. We are starting the Postgres services using systemctl command. The main advantage if you using systemctl, there is a service file is there. Thus, using that service file, it's going to start the PostgreSQL services. So, what is the advantage of this using systemctl means when you reboot the Linux machine, Linux node, Linux server, after restarting Linux server, the services automatically bring up by daemon process, like in case of rack. When you in the Oracle rack, if you restart any one of the node, the rack services automatically bring up. Who bring up? There is a daemon process is there. Here also daemon process is there. By you the daemon process using service file. In the service file, there mentioned data directory, username, password, everything. Using that service file automatically bring up the services. When using source code, when you use pgctl, that is manual start. When you use pgctl to start the services, so after restart node, you have to start the services using pgctl. In real time, all are using systemctl to start the stop services. The main advantage, if due to any reason Linux mission got rebooted, after rebooting, automatically Postgres services came online. Who bring up the services? There is a daemon process is there. Using service file, the daemon process bring up the Postgres SQL services. I will show you where is the service file. Okay, how to stop and start systemctl. Okay, if you suppose there is a issue with the systemctl, very rare case, for temporary, if you want to bring up the services, you can use pgctl. Okay, clear? Any queries for M method? If no queries, we'll go and start the installation. Okay, so okay, we need yes. Go ahead.
Small query, like coming to source code and M installation. Source code, there is no option automatic restart, automatic start service,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
So only we have that option.
Manual start.
in
Yeah.
M. Okay.
Yes. Okay. Okay. So okay, we need Oracle Linux 7. Okay, minimum
Venkat,
7 version is
sorry.
required. Yes, go ahead.
Venkat, sorry to interrupt. The same question. So when we use a source code installation, this auto startup can be configured, right? Manually.
Manually we have to configure, but instead of that, you can go and use M method.
Yeah, method. Okay. In
Yeah.
case. So
Yes,
in even we
yes.
have an option.
Default
in,
is not
auto
available.
installation. Okay. Yeah, got it.
Yeah. So you have to verify based on installation location, you come to know what installation is done. If it is a user local PC SQL, that installation done, source code method. Okay, M method we'll see where it will be installed, what is the default location. Clear, Santosh?
No, Venkat, like if they are using
Yes.
like they are creating like manually giving location now, how to identify? Like default now it is okay, we can identify. Like we can give manually like different location. How can we identify this is M installation or this is source code?
We'll tell you. Don't do. Okay, let's wait. Okay, so let's see. Okay, let me. Okay, so we need minimum 7 version. Okay, this is 7.9. Okay, so let me clone this mission. Okay, let me clone it. After installation, you can clone the mission so that if any due to any reason the server, okay, if any mistakes happening, we can delete that mission. Again, we can clone. Means it's a duplicate copy of original mission. Okay, click on next, click on clone. This is how we are cloning the virtual mission. So the existing mission original name is safe. We can keep as a backup. So we are going to work on top of this clone mission. If something is okay, if any mistakes happening, we can delete this mission. We can use again clone mission and we can utilize. Okay, let me start it.
And Venkat, one more thing, for day by day class notes, we haven't received it. So could
Sorry,
you-
come again.
day by day class notes.
Yeah, we'll share the notepad files today onwards.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, yeah, you will get the record and notepad files. Everything is get WhatsApp group, new WhatsApp group.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Venkat, can you share that this snapshot also? That Linux Exos.
Yeah, I will share the recording Word document. Seven also how to install. I will today I will upload into okay
Yeah,
Drive
yeah, yeah. If you
or
can
YouTube channel.
upload any,
Will
yeah, if
share.
we can
Yeah,
upload any VM, then we can download.
direct to VM.
Yeah.
No, you can install Linux. Okay, will help you. Don't worry.
Okay, fine. Yeah.
Why you can this huge capacity na?
Sure, sure,
It
sure.
means it takes 20 GB something.
Yeah, yeah.
Hmm. I will share all the softwares, all the okay installation videos. Still, if you have any issue, just ping me. Our team is there. They will assist you. Okay,
Okay.
so
Yeah.
that you also get some okay idea how to install and
Yeah.
yeah.
So
Whether
I
we
did
can
install
have
a
multiple,
couple of times, but
Yeah, don't worry. We'll set up. We'll give assistance.
okay.
It's not taking. It takes 1 hour time only. Go ahead, Sandeep.
we can have multiple installations on the same machine, right? I mean, one is M and one is
Yes,
the
yes,
code and
yes.
okay.
But the Linux version should be okay. The respective version you have to keep it.
Okay. And the default user, if you have multiple installations, right? So the default user will be the same, or we need to have different.
That is your based on requirement. Okay. For each and every cluster, default user should be Postgres only. If you want to keep default, you can keep it, or else if you want to change, you can change it. Clear?
Okay.
Okay, let me open the terminal. Okay, ifconfig to get the IP address, we have to give the command ifconfig. So this is the IP address. Let me connect 192.168.0.118. Root Oracle. So you can see, let me increase the font size. Okay, so you can say, okay, let me verify the slash etc OS release. Okay, so this is how we come to know operating system version is 7.9. You can see. Okay, so RPM -QA GCC. You can see. So the GCC is there. Okay, these are the mandatory. So make version. Yes, it should be 3.80 or above. So now it's 3.82. It's fine. We are good with the mandatory prerequisites. Okay. So RPM -QA. Read line, optional prerequisites. Yes, optional also. It's there. Zlib. So we are good in terms of prerequisites. Okay, this is how we are verify prerequisites. These two are the mandatory. These two are the optional prerequisites. Okay, so if you go any Linux platform, first we have to verify these all the prerequisites. We are good. Okay, so we verified operating system version. Okay, it's 7.9. So let's go on to get the instructions from yum method. You can see this is how we are. Let me go to again. PostgreSQL, select the package, select the operating system. Here, PostgreSQL under PostgreSQL yum repository, you have to select the which version you want to install. I want to install 13. Select the platform. Here we have to select the major version. So I am using 7.9. So 7.9, the major version is 7. Say its architecture is default. It's 64-bit. This is the script. Copy script into separate notepad file. Then copy one by one. So what is the first step? Install the repository. Okay, first we have to verify ping google.com whether internet is enabled or not. If there is no internet, we cannot install via yum method. We cannot proceed Postgres installation via yum method. This is the mandatory step. If it is pinging fine, means internet is enabled. So now I can go and install either source code or yum method. For especially yum method, we need internet connection for the Linux server. Okay, we are good. Now we can go and install. What is the first step? We have to install the repository file. So by using this first step, it's internally connected to this website. Download this RPM file. Download this RPM. You can see this is the RPM file. It's internally connected to this website. Download that RPM file. Install that RPM file. Let me first step copy and paste. Let's see. It's downloading the download and install complete. What is the RPM file? This is the RPM file. Okay, next step. Next step, install the software. Install the PostgreSQL. Which version? It's a 13. If it is 14, the version number will be changed. That's it. Okay, so copy and paste. Can see. Let's wait. Please keep on mute. Thank you. Okay, so we are good. We install Postgres. Okay, so let's see where it was installed. As of now, we done just the installation of Postgres software only. We have to verify. In Linux, how to build the database server? We have to install the server Postgres software, then create the cluster, then start the services. These steps are same. If you go any method for source code, for yum method, RPM, installation of software, create the cluster, start the cluster. The three steps are same for any method. Just now we install Postgres software. Where it was installed? Where is the home location for yum method? We install default location. I want to know where it was installed. You can see /user pgsql 13. This is the default home location for Postgres in case of yum method. We have to verify each and every. If you remember default location, you have to go with the default location, check. Inside default location, there is a pgsql, some folder is there. Means here I found /user, there is a pgsql 13. Means Here installation is done via M method, Postgres 13 version installed. Like this, we have to identify. Or else in real time, there is some inventory file is there, inventory sheet, Excel sheet. There it was mentioned. What is the installation location? What is the data directory? What is the port number? What is the default user? We have to maintain. Or else, if you don't want to maintain that Excel sheet, inventory sheet, you have to manually verify each and every mount point. First, you have to verify the default locations. You are not found anything. Go to the each and every mount point which are there in the server. Clear, Naresh? You asked
Yeah,
5 minutes before. Same question, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you can see there is no Vora tab file in Postgres. You are thinking /it/Vora tab file, right? In Oracle. Here it's not mentioned. There is no like that file. Okay. Now you can see LL. For any Postgres home location, these three are the mandatory files, directories: bin directory, lib directory, share. Bin directory means all the binaries will be there inside bin directory. What are the binaries? What are the utilities? As of now, what utilities we completed? Tell me. PSQL. What is the purpose of PSQL? To connect DB via source code method. Yes, sir. Via command line method. Yes or no? Command line method. So PGCTL. What is the purpose of this? To start and stop PG services manual method. Okay, if you want to manually start the services, you can use PGCTL. initdb. What is the purpose of this? To create a cluster, you have to use initdb. So these three utilities we know as of now. So where it is located, these are all three inside bin directory. If you go to bin directory, yes, you can see somewhere PSQL is there, PGCTL, PSQL, and somewhere initdb is there. Yeah, you can see here. So this is how we are verifying installation of software Postgres, where it was installed, how many folders got created, whether it is got succeed or not. Okay, we are good installation part. Next step, go on to take the next step. Create the cluster. initdb is the utility to create a cluster. Just they given instructions. Follow that. So you can say, I'm going to create a cluster. initdb, everything is done with the root account only from 13 onwards. Everything done with the root account only. It's automatically create the user OS level user Postgres. We are not created. That is the difference between source code and M method. In source code method, before creating cluster, we have to create a user, OS level user. We have to create a directory. We have to change the ownership. You can see like this. So user add Postgres. Source code method, we have to add the user. mkdir -p user1 data ch1 -r Postgres Postgres user1 data. Here we are adding the user. With this user, we are going to create the cluster. So the cluster data directory should be owned by the same user Postgres which you added OS level. These three, suppose if you want to change OS level user Postgres, suppose you want to keep some other user. What is suppose Oracle? Yes, you can keep. The cluster directory also should be owned by same user. Because after switching this user, we are creating the cluster. So whatever the cluster directory that should be owned by same user, then it's fine. Clear? Someone is asking same question.
No, it's not clear, Venkat. Actually, so we are creating a user after we complete the installation in the under the root account. We are creating a OS account, right? So how the newly created OS account will get the access on the binaries.
Binaries will be done by root account. So binaries, it's a root account only. Where you are using binaries? That way,
that's what
automatically using. We are not giving any permissions in terms of binaries.
No. When we create a cluster, it needs the particular user, whatever we created, Oracle or Postgres. It needs to have access on the binaries installed under the root account, right? then only it will be able to create the cluster, right? So where it is related, how we are giving the access?
We are
actually?
not giving manually. It's automatically. It's done. We are not giving. It's installation done root account. We no need to give the permissions for binaries.
Venkat,
Yes.
hi, this is Shrikant. So basically, you are saying after 13 version, if you are installing this user creation for the OS level and the root level for the Postgres also will be done automatically. That we don't have to do manually.
Yes. Yes.
Prior versions, these steps which you have mentioned right now,
Manually.
we
Correct.
have to do for the previous versions only.
Yes.
Correct?
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah. Go ahead, Mohan. Don't think terms of Oracle other thing. Here,
Okay.
the installation will be done root account after switching Postgres user. In case of source code method, you have to cluster directory we are creating after switching this OS level user which you created Postgres or Oracle whatever. The directory should be owned by same user. So you can go and create the cluster. In case of
So
YAM method, yes.
Okay. So in Oracle, it is not like that, right? It is
It's
kind
not,
of,
that's why don't think in terms of Oracle or other.
so any user can create a cluster in the
Yes,
Postgres if
yes,
the software is installed. Okay.
yes.
So the permission is open
But
to all
the
users.
directory should be same user which user you added at OS level.
Okay.
Because suppose I used Oracle, then how to create the source code method, how to create the cluster, you have to switch to user first, yes or no?
Yes.
Instead of using su-postgres. After switching, we are creating the cluster. So the cluster should be going to create with if it is cluster directory owned by this user, then only creating the files and directories inside this directory. If this directory is owned by some other user, how it's going to create the files and directory with this user? It's
Yeah,
not,
this I got it actually. This I got it. So
yeah,
I'm asking about the software, the binary is installed under root
nothing.
account. So it is
It's
open
not
to all.
like, it's not like
It
Oracle.
is not restricted to any particular group.
Yeah, it's
OS.
not like Oracle.
Okay. So it
Always
is
the
open to
software will
all.
be owned by root account. So we are not mentioned anywhere. Okay. So you can use, you can change this user.
Okay. And what about the
Venkat,
group?
we are
If
newly
I'm creating a different user account other than Postgres. So what should be the group, Venkat?
This is the default user. You are not mentioning any group while creating the user. It's automatically assigned the group name also same name. Clear, Mohan?
The third step, we are changing the ownership of the directory.
Yeah, that's why this is the
Yeah.
username. Suppose I added Postgres user. Okay.
Okay.
Here I'm not mentioning any group. Simple, I
Okay.
given username only. So
Okay,
when
so-
you are not
okay.
mentioning any group name while creating the user, the group name also assigned for this user same as username. So that's why here I mentioned group name also same.
Okay, if it is Oracle, the group will be Oracle.
O install. If you want to mention group name, -g, O install. Like this here also you can keep it. But in Postgres, no one using O install. Same
Okay.
thing. Postgres, if you want to use some other group, you can keep it. Your organization level, some security is there. You can keep it like this, whatever group name you mention. So that if you mention group name here, the same group name mentioned here.
Okay, sure.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Someone asked something.
Yeah, Venkat, we are creating the new user like Oracle. So it will be the super user.
No, that's not a super user. That OS level user. Because if you want to connect the database, you have to switch one user, right? Which user used to create a cluster, the same user, you have to switch that user, you can connect the database. That's not a super user, OS level user. We are going to create a cluster using that user. Tomorrow we'll see, okay. With apart from with a different user, we'll create a cluster. Tomorrow we'll see. We'll take section tomorrow. You will all get the clear. That's fine. All of you.
Yes,
Okay.
Yes.
We'll take tomorrow section. Okay, can say now cluster is created. We got initialize the database. Okay, it's giving it's given acknowledgement. Okay, means created a cluster successfully. Okay. Yes, we have multiple users. Now you can say now It's created a cluster. Now what is the step? Enable the services. Let me go and enable it. Can see it's enabled. Let me start the services using systemctl. Okay. Now can see. Let me maybe services some other Postgres is running. Okay. Let me start the service. 12 is running. So that's why. So this cluster using same port number 5432. The second 13 version also I am trying to start this cluster service also with the same default port number. So it doesn't started. Throws the error. Means the same port which is already using some other cluster. So either I have to stop the cluster or I have to change the port number for this one. As of now, let me stop the cluster manually. Let me Postgres. PGCTL, how to stop it? PGCTL, what is the data directory? This one data directory. Stop. Okay. PGCTL -d. Yes. You have to keep -d. Now you can say server stopped. Okay. Now there is no clusters are running with the default port number. Now you can start it. Let me start the 13 version cluster. Yes, started. Now let me see the status. STATUS. Now you can say where the service file will be created. This is the service file. User lib Postgres SQL 13.service. If you reboot this Linux machine after rebooted this mission, the Postgres services automatically bring up. It came online automatically. Who bring up? There is a daemon process using this service file. The daemon process started Postgres services without manual interaction. If we using manual stop and start PGCTL after rebooting the Linux machine, we have to start the services manually unless the services will be stopped state only. That's the main difference between manual stop and start, systemctl stop and start. Okay. Can you show us the daemon process? Yes.
Venkat, one query.
Yes, go ahead.
Now, as we saw, there is already one version which was running 12.
Yes.
And there's another version. So basically, this is the another cluster which we have created with 13 version. Correct?
Yeah.
And by default port was already allotted to version 12.
We'll cover that one tomorrow.
Okay,
Just
so
you can change the port number. Okay, for any one of the cluster, you have to give the different port number apart from 5432. Then you can start the second cluster also. Even first cluster is running.
so in that case, both versions or both cluster can run simultaneously.
Yes.
Yeah.
If you change the port number, any one of the cluster.
Correct. So by default, port number will be allotted to only one of the cluster.
Yes,
And another
correct.
cluster we have to give the manual.
We have to change port number. Yes.
And now in this case, currently, which we have changed, we have stopped the version 12, right?
Yes.
And we have started the version 13, services
Yes.
for the version 13.
Yes.
Now, if we take a reboot on this machine at the moment,
Yes.
which version will start, 12 or 13?
Which one is the default port number? I stopped that one. Okay. Okay. Good question. So
Because currently port number is same for 12 as well 13.
yes.
So if we go for restart, which one will start, 12 or 13?
Either only one cluster is started.
Yes, definitely. But which one it will take? Give the priority, 12 or 13?
That we never test. Maybe 12. We're not sure.
That should be 13,
13
right?
version.
Yeah, because it is tied with your service.
Based on the version you are saying?
No, based on the service.
Based on the service. What service?
Yeah.
Oh, we stopped manual PGCTL. Okay. Suppose he is asking for 12 version also, if we are using systemctl, which one is going to start?
Okay.
Okay, definitely we stopped PGCTL manually. Okay, definitely 13 only started automatically. But okay, if in case of okay, I will test it and okay, never test this scenario. Maybe any one of the cluster only started. If anyone started, then second cluster is stopped. Okay, I will test it and I will tell you. Who is asking?
Yes,
That good
yes,
question.
from
Shrikant.
SQL end, which one is
All.
at first, then it will be acquired current port.
Current port, both servers, both clusters having same port, 543.
That will be allocated. That is, if we are not maintaining.
One is stopped, other one is running.
Yeah.
We'll see, we'll test it and we'll tell you. Tomorrow we'll tell you. Because this scenario we never, okay. So,
Yes,
different
I think
real time, we
I
have to
think that
manage.
is the reason. That is the reason why we have to give different ports.
Yeah, that's why in real time we are
Yeah.
giving different port number. We never that scenario. We have to give the
Correct,
port
correct.
number.
Yes, yes,
So
yes.
okay, even we'll see both the okay clusters are stopped state before rebooting. I will reboot and I will test it. We'll tell you tomorrow.
Okay.
Any other queries as of now?
Yeah, if the port is different from the default port, so
Mhm.
when we grab the process, will it show the port number, Venkat, or we
Yes,
have to
it
check?
will show you port number. Yes.
Okay. Okay.
When you give PS-F grep Postgres, it gives the data directory. If you want to know what is the port number, this okay. Using that port number also you can verify, or else you want to find the port number. There is a file cat postmaster.pid.
Okay.
Can see? This is the port number. Okay.
Okay.
So that's about M method. Here, no need to create voice level user, no need to create a data directory, no need to give change permissions. Just you can get the instructions, you can follow step by step. So the service will be started systemctl. The advantage is if you reboot due to any reason the system got rebooted, the services automatically came online. If you are using manual PCCTL stop and start, we have to start the services until unless those services will be down only. So that's
One question.
Venkat, can you show the permission for both the binaries 12 and 13?
12 and 15. Okay, sure, yeah. Let me go to cd/usr. This is the default location. You can see here. So there is a PG/SQL 12. If you want to go to see the binaries, go to the PG/SQL 12. Version number will be different. This is the 12 binaries because based on this folder, you can identify. 12 means it's a 12 binaries. If you want to 13, go to 13 folder. Clear?
Okay. And how about bin?
Sorry?
A permission on bin?
Okay, you can see here. Let me.
CD bin?
What is the permission here? Folder, entire folder. We done with root account. Okay, LL. Can see?
Okay, can you go inside bin?
Yes. The main folder is root account. So inside all the things, same owner. The installation will be done with root account.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Any other queries?
Yeah, Venkat, can you just go to the notepad once?
Yes.
Solved out actually. So for using the M method, we have seen how to create the cluster. So you said, right, with the same version, we can create one more cluster.
Yes.
So here in this example, the Postgres SQL-13 is the cluster name, if my understanding is correct. Right?
That's not a cluster name. Okay. So Postgres, the installation instructions. Okay, it's not a cluster name. Here there is no mentioned cluster name.
Okay.
So it's a 13 version. If you want to install 13 version, you have to give this one, Postgres 13-server. Server
Okay.
installation,
So
which version? 13.
Okay, what is the cluster name here in the?
That's what in Postgres nowhere mentioned cluster name.
Okay.
Based
So
on
if
the
I want
cluster,
to,
how to identify cluster, different clusters if we have, based on the port number, based on the data directory, it should be different.
Okay.
So Venkat, can we say here instead of calling it cluster, we can call it as an instance.
Yeah,
Each
that's why.
instance will be having different port number.
Yes, instance. So, but people call as a cluster. Okay, actual. Okay, we can. It's like instance, but people call as a cluster in Postgres. Cluster means how many clusters are there? Can you check like this? Terminals is different compared to other database platforms to this Postgres. It's not a real cluster. Cluster means it's like an instance. Clusters are different based on the port number, based on the data directory. These two should be different. Each and every cluster.
Means cluster name would be same, but data file should be changed. would be different, right?
Inside this cluster, database is?
Yeah, same server. If we
Yeah,
are-
yes, each and every database, there is a separate DB folder created. Inside that DB, the respective database will be created.
Okay.
Yes.
Venkat, I need to create another cluster in same
Yes,
version. Na?
you can
It is
create.
possible.
Yes, yes.
How
That
how
will,
can it do? Like
can
it is
say
taking
multi-cluster configuration. Wait.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, it is taking automatically, right? How to it will convert the name
It's not taking automatically.
okay.
One time only it's taking the default cluster. Second time you have to give the manual custom data directly. That will be
Okay.
covering the can say multi-cluster configuration. We'll go one by one. If you directly go with multi-cluster, these all are missing.
Okay.
Venkat, can you show me that the data directory?
Whatever you are asking all questions, if you go one by one topic, okay, it will cover all the things.
Venkat, can you please show that current whatever installed done now? Can you please show that the data directory?
Yeah, sure. Can say yes. This is the data directory 13. So these are the files. For any cluster data directory, these set of files and folders same. It could be same.
That location, Venkat?
This is the location.
Default location?
Not
This is the default data directory location.
okay.
Okay.
Venkat, how about data files where it is located?
We'll tell you, don't worry. Okay. Database will be there in the inside base folder. How it's created, how to identify. We'll check in the coming sections.
Okay.
DB creation. Here you can get the database, how many database, how to verify OS level database folders, data files, everything it will cover in this section.
Okay.
Okay. We'll go one by one. Okay. You will get a clear picture. Because
And
this
Venkat, we have background from SQL. Can you please share basic components? So along with the